Evening, everybody. My name is Cesar Yok. I'm a committee chairperson. This is the Environmental Justice and Sanitation Committee meeting. Today is March 19th and 6 p.m. Call to order. We're going to do some quick introductions. Just your name, where you're from, and what you like about the environment. So we're going to start from here. What do you like about the environment? Your name, where you're from, and what do you like about the environment?
Good evening, Diana Leonard, Community Associate with the Bronx Community Board 1. What do I like about the environment? I want to say watching the seasons go from cold to this nice warmer weather.
Okay.
That's it.
Elijah Rodriguez, Vice Chair, EJ and Sanitation. What do I like about the environment? I like when summer turns into winter and it gets colder in the city. That's my favorite thing about the environment.
John Sanchez, secretary applicant, and my favorite thing about the environment, I'm about to say the small things that people don't notice. So like the mushrooms growing on logs, moss, small things like that.
Right here.
Introduce yourself for the
Introduce
record.
yourself.
I'm Alexis Leo. I'm with the Bronx Documentary Center.
Welcome.
What do you like about the environment?
What do I like about the environment? Probably when I go to the park and it's like nice and warm and not freezing.
Nice and
That's what I
warm.
like today, the weather's been nice, so that's what I enjoy.
Okay. Next.
My name is Cesar Florencio. With the Bronx Documentary Center, and I just like the sun.
The sun. Okay. Next. Yeah.
I am Brandon Carrillo Leon. I'm from Bronx Documentary Center as well. And what I like about my environment the environment, birds, I guess. I don't know, I really like the birds in the morning and afternoon.
Next.
Hey, I'm Daniela. I'm also from the Bronx Psychiatry Center. And what I like from the environment is like to listen to the birds as well and see the trees in this center.
Yeah, my name is Giacomo Francia, Bronx Documentary Center. I think just I think about environment, think about parks, and so the time that I can spend in parks when they're clean and nice, and trees and sun and all that.
I am Ebony Washington. I am a Melrose community member, a concerned community member. And what I like about the environment is I love parks too.
Parks.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Anthony Jordan, District Manager to the Community Board. What I like about the environment is its unpredictability. That sometimes you never know what it will get into with the environment. It's on the most wintry day, it can be very sunny and feel very warm, unpredictably, and on the on other days it could be something totally different. So I like the way that that the environment can be unpredictable, especially during this time of environmental challenge and change. I want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded live on our social media channels and along with YouTube. And if you're speaking for the first time, please speak clearly, concisely, and start off with your name so our audio recording devices can clarify with your name. Welcome. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ava Chow. I'm from the Bronx Blooming.
Okay.
Welcome. What do you like about the environment?
I love the joy it brings to community and the fact that trees and other plants help give us clean air.
My name is Cesar Yok. Like I said before, what I like about the environment is I remember when I was in school, I was in a beach, and it was at Lake Beach, and then just touching the water, it humbles you as a human being. So when you see like you need that to be human. So we're gonna start new business. We're gonna be actually some of this is all business, right? So cleanup updates. With some of you that are new here, On April 12th, we are having a community board one cleanup and Earth Day celebration. So what happens is like from 2 to 3:30, we are going to be cleaning up three different locations in community board one. The first one is 138th Street corridor from Willis to Cypress. The second one is the Willis Avenue Playground. And the third side is a combination of putting trees and cleaning up. That's why Brunson's Blooming is here. It will be Roberto Clemente Square Plaza, and then going to Jackson Avenue on 149th Street. So Brunson's Blooming will take 149th Street, the area, to Jackson, and they will be cleaning up the tree pits and planting some trees there. So that's what's going to happen on April 12th. Rainy day will be April 19th. Uh, so the main point, not to make it too political, the event is to more like talk about the importance of Earth Day, the importance of cleaning our environment, and also the slogan is a green earth is a clean earth. That's a slogan. So that's what we're going to talk about. The Green Corps. So the Green Corps, that's a slogan for the Green Corps for this committee. This committee was formed last year, right? It's a brand new committee.
2 years ago, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, okay.
Time is
It's going fast. So almost 2 years ago, the committee was formed because we deal with a lot of environmental injustices in community both one and also climate injustices. So that's why this committee was formed, and one of the goals is to have more community participation and also have more members of the community board to participate in like cleaning up, right? Doing some cleanups and also going to community gardens to help them. We grow vegetables and food. Yes, and the cleanup, the update is like almost everything is set up. There's still a couple of things with the permits and food. So we have about 6 organizations that participate. Nos Quedamos, Elijah and John Sanchez. We have a Third Avenue Bid, San Bros Night. We have Bronson's Blooming, New Yorkers for Parks. AOC's team. AOC has a team that works with this neighborhood. Uh, Alexandra Castro Cortez now has jurisdiction in my part of the neighborhood. I'm from Millbrook Houses, so she has, and also St. Mary's Park. So they will be involved. That's why they have the Willis Avenue area. They will be involved in that area. They will have their own volunteers, and then they come in to clean up that area in the 138th Street corridor. And then in the Willis Avenue, San Bros Night, we have something called the Hearts Building. The reason why Willis Avenue is being used, the playground, is because they also want to display the Heart Building. That's something that San Bros Night is working on to build and get funding for it, and then build it. And then the other one is that we have a lot of issues with Roberto Clemente Square with the needles and garbage cans. So you go to, what's the name of that group with the needles?
Our election groups on point.
On point. So trying to get on point to come there in advance before the cleanup, to take out any needles and anything like that. So that's being planned, and also for them to go to the three sites. And Department of Sanitation will be providing tools for two sites. AOC's site will have their own tools, and then we just have to pick up the tools. And well, the main thing is really having more community members from community board want to be involved. To reduce the people that come from outside clean up, because it doesn't really help. It's more geared towards community board one members. So putting media efforts and other efforts to get as many CB1 members to join the cleanup. So I have that. That's a little bit of the update, and then there's a flyer going on too. Community board one posted it on the digital way on what's it, Facebook? I forgot what it is.
Instagram.
Instagram. He posted on Instagram, and later on, for me, I'm gonna go to different churches next week and give out the flyers. And I forgot to print that flyers because I don't have a printer. So yeah, so that's a
You
cleanup.
always come to the office.
Huh?
Diana will be happy to help you. You always come to the office.
I'll come to the office.
Yes.
Okay. The new one.
3030, yep.
The new one. The one that I had to. I couldn't find.
The new temporary one where you pay parking tickets at the second floor.
I know I was there.
You couldn't find us.
I couldn't find you.
Go to the sheriff's information desk. He'll point you. To
Nobody knew it. It was like, what? Who's that?
Now we have big signs in the building, so now we'll point you to where you need to go.
Okay. So that's the cleanup. If you have any questions, you could come to me or call the committee board. Well, the other part of the cleanup is Earth Day. So we couldn't do Earth Day celebration on Earth Day. Most people couldn't do it, so we decided to do on a Saturday, April 12th. So Earth Day is having organizations present the work and solutions, not like complaints. Solutions. It's more like and then also having some presentations about the importance of preserving our home, which is Earth. So that's the cleanup. So combination.
Can I say one thing about that, Mr. Chairman? May I?
Yes.
So I want to say congratulations to you and the committee because it's the first one that I recognize as being a member of this community and its community board that a project like this undertaking is taken to address the issue around the overproliferation of trash that's been around the entire district. We serve Mount Haven, Port Morris, and Melrose, and parts of the Bronx. And that's like I was talking to our team this morning. It's about 200,000 people who just live here. We have many more who come here for respite, like shopping, eating, hanging out, visit family and friends. And we know that this committee was created was to focus on not only the environmental issues, but the sanitation issues. And I was talking to folks in the audience about the how we felt that it was an ethical issue of sharing resources in our district from Central Sanitation, Department of Sanitation to the South Bronx specifically, because we felt like it was not being shared equitably, like it is in other neighborhoods. And so focusing on not only this, but we hope it's a repetitive thing that's happening at not a one-off, but that is happening in the community. And people are generally working to educate themselves on why it's important to keep our community clean and safe for people to be able to, again, live, work, and play. And so, congratulations to you and your members of the leadership in putting this together. And that is something that we are happy to support this community's work and making sure this continues to go on, because all the places we chose are places where young people play, old people respite at, and everyone uses. And so the Roberto Clemente Plaza, historic about basketball player Roberto Clemente, parts of our parks, and parts of where our community and to look forward for more opportunities like this in the going forward. So thanks. I was going to say that.
You're welcome. Thank you for that. Yes. So my last year as yes. Oh, no, I'm not.
Taking questions yet.
No, not yet. So for me, my last year will be next year because we had tenure for 10 years. You only could be a board member for 10 years. I've been a board member almost 9 years. So to my last year, so some of these things here is to prepare for the next person. It's sort of like a framework. So prepare it. So what you're going to talk about the cleanup is not only. I ask people not to only have it one time, to have it multiple times per year. At least 3 times a year. If it's not possible, maybe 2 times a year. Like this, I'll choose another 3 sites instead of the same sites. And they have the same organizations and additional organizations to do one probably like in August or whatever. So yes, that's a cleanup. Do you have any questions? Anybody have questions here?
Hi, Ebony, Washington. I heard the comment about how, I guess, funding is being, or resources are being distributed are they being distributed equitably across our communities? Do we have any stats, any numbers on that? And what can we do as a community to advocate for more of an equitable distribution throughout New York City?
Yes. Well, you can answer that
Right.
first. That's
So thank you, Ebony, and thank you for coming today. So definitely, number one is to always when you see that things that there are like looks like illegal dumping, overflowing of garbage, or there's things that are happening around the area, please be sure to call 311 or call the community board office. We have a 24-hour number, and we have or 311 so that those issues could be addressed. And then participate in work like this with on the community board where we're highlighting the issues around sanitation and environmental justice in this community on a very different platforms to ensure that we bring attention and setting a standard of what our borough and what our district needs to make sure it's clean, safe, and for people to be able to continue to visit, live, and grow. And so that's important. The stats are always shared. We have like something similar to a comp stat. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That technical comp stat is something where statistics are discussed around various different issues around sanitation, public safety, et cetera, at our something called district service cabinet meeting, where we get down into the weeds of discussing statistics about where the resources in the are and where they are not, and where we need solutions that we need to build on. Separate from the work that the committee does, the committee is more policy, big picture stuff, and something called district service cabinet meeting happens the second Tuesday of each month here in this room at 10 a.m. in the morning to 12, where we have all the agency heads in, including the specifically talking about sanitation, the deputy chief for the borough, and the superintendent for the district. And we go into amount of trash that's been collected, where the problem areas are, how much enforcement is done to make sure folks are moving their car, getting out of the way for sweepers. What are we doing about where the collections are happening with the collection of used hypodermic needles that we're finding around the community, because only certain, as the chair mentioned, only certain people that have training, what's called hazardous material training, are allowed to. It should try to remove it. It shouldn't be someone who hasn't had that training to try to remove those needles, because we don't want to risk someone getting hurt, accidentally stuck. So, but going back to your question, is to participate. And how can I participate? Reach out to the community board office, ask how can I join to become a public member, which means that you as a member of the community, everybody as a member of the community has the opportunity to have a seat at the table, but a specific seat at the table with a vote to make to set policy and changes in the community, where you as a member of the community can be able to really incite and ratify change happening in the community. And then and also is with that come with ideas about organizing about different things that you see are a concern, a problem in your community separate from that. So 301, because that highlights the city where, hey, I'm a person who live here. I saw this. I see this is the issue, and I want to make this clear. That gives us immediately comes to the community board. It goes to the agency that's supposed to handle it, and then we track those statistics to make sure that the issue is resolved. And we call and we follow up. So we're very good at this in our office. But coming every day and applying to be a public member, I'm at the table, and I want to now question the hard questions to the agency leaders to say, I don't think we're getting enough of something, or we're not getting the service and resources we deserve. And so that's where the site's changing. And to add with that, that makes programs that we every day, my team and I, we all go to City Hall and say we need more of this, more of that. That we could look at the 201 reports and the issues and be able to bring those changes, like the community links that I'll talk about at the end of this about what's coming to the hub and on top of the cleanups. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
It's two things. This is a committee you don't have to be a board member, right, to be in this committee.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a full board member to be in this committee, and also you could vote on the general board, or you could vote in this committee as a non-board member. So that's another way to participate. And the other one is this is my philosophy. So I come from a third world country, so I come from Guatemala, and then people didn't have the same resources we have here. We have a rich city. We have a lot of resources. I mean, some of the problems is that we know they're not used correctly, and they're not used at the right time, or you have not at all. So you have those things here, but my philosophy from what I learned in my country is like the community also has to take charge, has to be involved as well. And then from there, we didn't have nothing. It was like there was no fancy trash pickups that we have in this country here. And then it was relatively clean. So when people talk about these things, I'll be like, it's not poverty. I come from other countries that you talk about poverty, they have poverty. So sometimes we also have to be a part of it. Whatever we could do, whatever we could control, that's what we could do, right? Everything else we have to fight for, like more resources. So that's another reason for the cleanup. You know, I was raised like that. It was don't wait for other people to come in to help you. You do your part, and then and then that's it. That's for the cleanup. But another way to be involved is the CB1 Green Corps projects. So we're gonna talk. This is just to introduce the CB1 Green Corps. So we put together a T-shirt that has CB1 Green Corps, and in the back it says, uh, a green planet is a clean planet. So here in this meeting, we could discuss about projects that we could do as a CB1 Green Corps. One of them is like going to a community garden and then doing a cleanup at their garden, or helping people grow vegetables, or having workshops. So that's something that could be discussed here. I'm here to brainstorm ideas. You have any ideas of what to do as a CB1 Green Corps, and then we just do it, right? And then that's the second for new business. So I just want to remind people of that we do have a CB1 Green Corps, and then when we get hopefully the shirts, right?
They'll be ready for the event.
Yes.
Shirt for the event.
So once we get the T-shirts, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the T-shirts. So for now, it's really right now it's only board members and committee members that will have the T-shirts, right? To show what that is. And later on, when it's more spread out, probably all the committee members will get it. But for those people that have it, will use it as well when they're doing all the cleanups, or they're going to gardens or whatever project we have that we could think of as a Green Corps. Uh, does anybody have questions about the Green Corps projects? Any ideas of projects? No? Okay.
I have a question regarding the cleanups for Anthony Jordan, actually. I was wondering if it could be possible that we could bring up the cleanups at this month's general board meeting. If I could get some talking time, like just 2 minutes.
Sure. Public session. Yes. Or part of the committee. Sure.
We will have
The flyer.
we will have to put in an agenda because most of the time we don't even get a chance to do community.
We put it the public. He wants to talk about public session. He has 3. He said 2-3 minutes. That's public.
Yeah, I
public
just
session.
want to bring the cleanups into order, get as many community members involved. That's all.
Okay. We could put in a public session.
That's
right?
the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, we have to be there early at the beginning. Okay. So later on we talk about more projects. We will talk with each other usually by email. That's me. No WhatsApp and no social media. You're not gonna get me. So and also texting. So and then we go over time. We could think about different projects to do as a Green Corps, right? And then things that have to do with environmental stuff and sanitation, right? Come in, people that are interested, they could come in and talk about their ideas as well. That's that. The other one, I know they call it the dog feces map, or I call it dog poop map. So it's a poop map. So one thing about About policy, legislation, and community is data. Data, 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 data. So 311 is the first one that people should go to. 311, anything that's happening. But right now, one initiative is called Poop Map. So I couldn't show you on the screen, but what happens is you have a survey. So a person could go on their phone and then survey and take a picture of the poop and automatically loads here. And then you have the poop here, the pictures of the poop. So as you see, this is me by myself, and I have in 3 days I had 35 sites that people have left their poop there. So and then so trying to get people that are really responsible. I didn't want to put the survey in public because the concern is that people will put in improper pictures, and then they might not be serious about it. So and then we only gave it to 4 people to do it, right? And if other people are interested and they're responsible and things like that, I could give them the link to the survey, and then every time they take a picture, they put a point on the map, it loads here automatically. So I don't have to do anything. You just have to put the information on the survey. Uh, Another goal for this is to once you have, let's say, a couple of months, you populate it, and then we show it at the general board meeting. We say this is what we have for our committee. This is what's happening, and then in the data also shows around what time it might be happening. It seems here like it happens in the morning, and then around night, around 6 or 7 p.m. So it doesn't happen during the day. Like it happen. It seems like when people go before they go to work or something, they take the dogs. So that's the point of the poop map. Uh, and then just having actual data to show to city agencies that we're not joking around. This is the truth. It's like, and the proof is right there. And these are the sites that you should have more resources, so you should do something about it. But that's what the poop map is. And then yes. So anybody have any questions regarding the poop map?
So if I could add to that, Chair.
Yes.
So I was going to add that one of the big things. So we talked about illegal dumping. We talked about where it includes used to be tires and other waste, and then overflowing garbage cans, and then we talked about dumping of happening of boxes and stuff. So now there's a big emphasis this committee is looking at also feces, animal feces that's been almost found in everywhere, and then folks are not doing their due diligence as pet owners to make sure that you curb your dog and pick up the feces. And so with this, the chair and the committee work together, put together this map that helps to we hope to tie it into our website to deal with complaints and the administration's desire to want to hold animal owners accountable for cleaning up behind their dogs, which will initiate possible policy legislation that will institute fines and other penalties for people who have not been able to be good owners of pets. We know that feces not only is eyesore, but also some animal feces carry other diseases that can be very dangerous to other animals, whether they have vaccinated or not. And so we want to make sure that we do everything we can to ensure that our community and our district has ability to have people act appropriately with the cleaning up and its the animal feces. But along with this, with that maybe some stations that will allow to have poop bags and other stuff so people have easy access for free to easily clean behind their dog. But you meet some people who says, who get homeowners and also other property owners who will get furious with people who disallow their animal to poop right in front of their business or in front of their spot, in front of their home, and just take a simple plastic bag out of the garbage or whatever, or use a garbage bag to be able to get that out of there. So this is a great opportunity and project that we hope to pilot on our website VXCB1, NYC.gov to be able to kick off, it happening hopefully in multiple other districts, and the specialness of the tip of the area, so to emphasize the importance of folks being great caregivers of their pets, and just and to curb their dog and curb the possibility of other diseases that can be transported in animal feces if left thrown away. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that.
ask
Any
you a-
questions?
Somebody has a question.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, and my question is I guess very simple, but I've been in this community long enough to see like how kind of things have gotten worse with the conditions of the streets in our community. I've been in this community 12 years. I'm sure some of you were born here and raised, and so you know the issue better than me. But I'm wondering what's the reason behind the initiative? This it seems to me like the first initiative in a really long time, or it's the first one in I don't know how many years, right? Of like doing this sort of organized cleanup day. So I'm wondering why, after so many years of our streets being in the conditions they are, this is the first time this happens. What's the thinking behind it? What's the reason why it's happening now? And also I think to your point of like the community is stepping up, I agree that the community should always step up, but it's also New York City, and I think when we talk about resources, like I always see the Bronx being the one that there's so many commercial areas in New York City, and then I see always the hub being the one that has had the same problems over the course of the years, and I also wonder why that hasn't changed.
Lou, man, just start then you add.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll start. So this is the first time like three sites community board one base, because like we said, this committee was just started. It only became about 2 years old. So I keep hearing people about the sanitation, trash, and things like that. And I know about the lack of resources. And then I've been here for 8 years, close to 9 years, and then we've been talking about resources for a long time. It's like no, that the agencies know, but they don't do anything about it. So, and it comes to a point that you have to show it, and you have to be out there. That the community could do something to pressure them. Uh, so that's where the idea came from. People have been complaining about trash for like probably 30 years since I've been here. Came here in 1989 from Guatemala. So that the trash issues have been going on for a long time. Nothing really changes with politics. All of this is very complicated. Some of it has to do with oppression, with the oppression that happens in low-income neighborhoods. Some of it has to do with politics. Some of it has to be social conduct, and social construction, or social conditioning. Like I've been in situations like, why should I care about the environment if you don't care about it? Now my job is calling me. I think they want me to go to work. Anyway. So it's a mix of things, social conditioning, right? People giving up on each other. They give up. They be like, the community is a piece of whatever. So me, I'm gonna accept it, and I'm gonna let it be the way it is. And it's like a mix of things. It's like that when you say it's very hard to answer that question, because some of it is systemic, political, uh, and then some of it is lack of science education. Some of it has to do where you talk to a lot of youth, they haven't even left the city. They haven't even gone to the Adirondacks, so they haven't gone to all the lakes. So I went to school in Syracuse. I experienced that, how to be in a different environment. So you have a large population of youth and people that haven't been in those settings, right? So you also have those things. So that's the reason we're starting this year, just to start it off. And hopefully it picks up, and more people come in and join, and also keep pushing those politicians, keep pushing for resources, And the final thing I would say regarding that question has to do with it's also economics. So in order to have profit, you need to have poor people because that's how they make their money. Which is a sad thing that happens, but that's part of economics. And what was the other one? The poop. I mean that was the, it was two questions, right?
But I think what he wanted to say is that he wanted to add, like, a build on what you're saying,
Yeah.
is that yes, we have found ourselves to be unfortunately the oversaturated with so much stuff that relating to social negative health conditions and other conditions that and why has it started today? Because under this board, under this new leadership, we have established a actual committee to pay direct attention to it. Never before, and very rarely any other community board has it focused on environmental justice issues. Environmental justice issues have been the priorities of environmental justice organizations like Nostradamus and other organizations, IMPJ, Youth Ministry Peace and Justice, The Point, who's in Hunts Point, and Youth Ministry Peace and Justice in Soundview, different parts. And so we decided to hold as a community board to use our fiduciary responsibility and role under the charter to hold government accountable to do what government say it's supposed to do for the taxpayers, for the most vulnerable, for the community, period, and set a standard in the community that has unfortunately has not been able to have its voiceless be heard by saying we require, we deserve, we demand that the resources that are shared in other parts and we're not out of borough and shared in other boroughs, Manhattan and other communities, we want it here too. We want clean streets, safe resources, safe communities, resources and services for our mentally ill brothers and sisters, programs that are really providing support for the unhoused to be able to to have a place to stay, and not just temporary solutions to long-term systemic problems that have unfortunately been money has been poured in it time and time again, and we think it is now our turn to be able to say what we want and not have someone come into our community and make a decision to say, oh, this is what your community gets or deserves for the time. So under this committee chair and the full board chair, we decided to take our community minded and our community organizing role very seriously and start holding agencies, what they call holding court to court, to say, not to court literally where a judge, but to court by saying, bring them to the table and say, why not? And be able to say that now that you're saying the reason why certain communities get stuff because they stand up and they stand firm on what they deserve. Now we're doing that, but we're not doing it by saying it's their job to do it only. We also are doing it in a way by saying that the community has a responsibility to also be part of that. And so by doing this cleanup day and hopefully many other cleanup days, community is working to take accountability to make sure that we have a safe and clean space. And we're inviting organizations like Bronx Bloom and Nostradamus and South Bronx Unite and all those environmental justice organizations and Nostradamus are all around and say, we want you to also educate us because like I was mentioning earlier, education along with action starts breeding attitudes to say that this is going to be something that's going to be happening by habit, ongoing. So this is a bold step. We're not only focusing on one area, then we have a very large district. We're trying to hit the three areas that we do cover in major ways. And we also are inviting harm reduction organizations like we said, On Point, which happens to be a harm reduction organization, to safely be able to move the needles in advance so that we can do this in a safe way. So we're hoping that this becomes a habit, that it happens ongoing, and we're using Earth Day as a symbolic time and date to be able to do that, to make sure that we people focus on that something like this needs to happen. So we again, action starts with us, and so this opportunity is going to be the action and then continue action. We hope with the support of the Department of Sanitation Foundation, and more of us as citizens and as community people will come together and keep this going, so that we can come to the habit again of saying, don't dump that there. And once you go put that in the trash, or hey, this doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen here anymore. Or so that's the goal. If that answers your question.
Yeah, that no, that
Yeah,
thank you so
I-
much for answering
Yeah,
that.
I just gonna add something. So, in like the 8 years I've been here is more like you have so many things happening at the same time. So all we do is put out fires. It's like it's constantly fires here, have fires here. It's just like it's a lack of vision, comprehensive vision. Like the whole community at one having one vision. So that's why we keep getting these things with sanitation, environmental justice, health, drugs issues, you got transportation issues, things like that. So, and what I've seen from my experience has to be there's no universal vision. Everybody just comes in to put out fires, and then it's like being in quicksand. You're not actually moving forward. You're just being in quicksand. So that's why I think this happens. So then hopefully we something like this it starts getting people to say that sometimes you have to bring out the ideas to other people for them to implement. That's my thought. I think you have something to say.
Well, let me start off by saying I love the poop bag. Thank you. That sounds wonderful. I pass so much. I pass so much on the way walking up here, and I think Anthony kind of touched on it. What I was thinking is that we are taxpayers too, and we deserve services. If they can keep Manhattan, Brooklyn cleaner than us, and I'll just add, I am a lifelong Bronx resident, born and raised, and a lot of time in this community. And I'm gonna tell you, it has not always been like this. It has gotten worse, and it's not that it was great when I was growing up or great, but it has. There were things that I don't remember walking past piles of trash as tall as me when I was in high school. No. So it's like we're on a downward trajectory, and I think we need to really do something to really pressure the politicians. Like you mentioned AOC, she's all over TV, but what's going on in the Bronx, right? And we need to do something, and I'm happy I'm here to support. But I hear like what we can do as communities, be mindful of the litter, da da da. But then there's some systemic things where like the garbage is just not getting picked up on time. It's sitting out of days.
And it also accumulates on
And
side
it
streets.
accumulates, and yeah,
For I'm not talking about days, I'm talking about weeks.
Weeks,
It's
yeah.
the same kind of trash that's like, yes, community, yes, everything you said. But it's not hard to see that we are in a community that requires a special attention,
Mhm.
and it should be a priority,
Mhm.
and it's not being prioritized.
You mentioned a key word, systemic. It's sad to say that what you're saying is universal. It happens in other countries as well. When you, like I said, economics, if you not have any wealth for the economy, you're put as below everybody else, which is a sad situation. And I've seen it in my country because we are poor. So but then it's this mix of combination of ideas, fighting, right? Community, putting those together, putting all those things together. And right now, with what's happening all the time, I hear something with administration. It's like it comes to a point that we have to have a fun day, like an Earth Day, right? To celebrate the importance of having an Earth. That's another reason why that's there. And then at times it's not to sit there and talk about all issues and problems and complaints. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with complaining, but at times it's just like taking a breather to be like, why are we doing this? He's like, the earth is important. I went to a science school. I was studying climate change in global warming in 1998 when nobody was talking about it. We were ridiculed by professionals in the 2000s when Al Gore was running for president. He didn't get a president. And so then over time it comes to like we have a bombardment of everything's happening at the same time, and then sometimes we have to like take a breather and just having enjoyment time. And hopefully that will happen on the April 12th. And then think about what are we fighting for. We're not only fighting for trash. This is not only about feces and trash. This is about our home, nature, right? You know, trash comes from somewhere. Trash comes from industries, right? When you advertise or every day you get advertisement for things that don't really pertain to helping you survive, right? So we creating this trash. It's everything's connected. So that's why I don't like watching a lot of advertisement because it's the industry is what creates this trash. But so that's me talking per se for my philosophy. But then there comes a time that we had to sort of like just have some fun, right? And then see what are we doing to get this done, and then the goal at the end is be like we are going to do what we can from our part, but we don't accept that we are having this happening in our community, right? So don't come here blame us and say we are poor, we are the ones causing the problem. We're proving to them we're not causing the problem now, so you can't have an excuse. Bring us the money, bring us the resources, get the garbage picked up at the right time. You want to see it picked up too, not like 4 in the morning when nobody knows, and then things like that. So a combination, and it's also enforcement. There are policies like the dog feces in public houses. There are policies. You picked us, you can't have a dog that's 25 pounds and up. Nature doesn't enforce those things. So that's also as well, but a combination of having a time to think and relax, and also a time to fight because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. That's what happens a lot with this community. A lot of people crash because we get bombarded with everything. So then people just crash, and there are people that give up. So yeah. They just that hopefully I do my part per se in this committee, and whoever takes over, uh, you know,
No, Colleen. And I want to add one more
yeah,
thing. I
those
think
those
it, I
things,
think
yeah.
I think it's also about decentralizing certain essential services. If you take things, if you provide equal essential services, sanitation, along with some other things, and borough Pacific, then you have equal amount of staff, or depending on or equal amount of how densely populated or so on related to the or to making sure that when we call on services, you don't have to say to a central office that's not located in us, and then are already dedicate those services to other parts of the city. You, when you decentralize it and make it borough specific, then you can count on that you using what you have and using that to the full capacity, and that will ensure equitable resources across. And I think that a lot of what we found that has been a part of what's been happening, especially in the Bronx, is that when we will ask for a central office, which is likely located most of the time in Manhattan, to provide the Bronx with what it needs to help with the back streets. And we see it when we do snow plowing. What certain communities that get done first in the city where priorities are at, and we hope that equitably, you either depend on your neighbors to help you out, and to dig your car out, or because when they do come around, sanitation does come around, sometimes it ends up burying your car deeper into the bits of the snow drift. So I say that whenever I talk to folks who work in this industry in the industry who help with our sanitation needs, they always talk about that is that the ask is always there to give us our fair share, but the ability or the willingness, I'll say that, is it's not, and those decisions are made centrally. So it's always about us also for folks who are on this committee to always organize and fight, is to end and fight and advocate and fight some more because that is a part of the Bronx kind of like blood that we're always organizing, always fighting, always protesting when things are not going the right way they're supposed to go for us, and we're always asking for not most or our fair share. Yeah, and that's a big part of this work and the work of the board. And I've been the DM. I've been living and born in this community, working in 7 different capacities in the community, but been as the DM for just about 2 years, maybe a little over. And my job is to go around and with the batteries that each of these committee members put into me, the gasoline the community puts into me to go and continue to advocate and fight and hold accountable on a local level. There's everyone that we work with, whether the city council members to state folks, and especially the city agencies. And I want to say that that city has been extremely receptive to that because they want to work hard. They want to be able, but they're only allowed to also use the resources that they have. They want to not just give answers; they want to have solutions and they want to show action. And so every day, this is what when you guys come and ask these questions, participate, and come with solutions to the long-standing problems that you see, in whatever your capacity you see, then that gives us the ability to go in and say this because you can't. But photos don't lie, and in actuality, people it doesn't lie. So
we got years of the
sure. So that is something that's definitely important that empowers us to be able to do the work that we do. So I look for folks to come around and be involved and engaged and get a Green Corp shirt.
Get a Green Corp shirt. You might have to go through a ritual
or swearing or whatever.
Swearing, you gotta do that.
But no, it's important. So yeah, and so unfortunately, that's not a right now. Where there is the answer is definitely heard and stuff like that about what you're saying, and you don't have to. I believe it because I also have seen it. Lots that have been empty that have, like you said, trash that goes, and the first thing it says who's responsible. It goes like this,
yeah,
and then that is the most. That's stuff that pisses me off, or excuse me, before anything else, because the reality is sanitation. Let's get it done, and if the owners are responsible, hold the owners of these empty lots who have this trash dumped there accountable and let them build something that keeps people from illegally dumping, whether it is surveillance systems or whatever, because we're going to do our job.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing, for asking those questions.
Thank you for that.
We won't give you a very long answer.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So next on the agenda, old business. Does anybody have old business? No. No old business.
No business, Chair.
Okay. No. What about the NEDA stuff?
What do you mean?
You said you were going to get in contact with the people that need them.
Right. We're waiting for them to do the training that's going to happen before. They decided they want to come and do the move themselves, and then we'll set up with the Department of Health to provide training for future hazardous material removal training. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. That's the schedule for a time that the committee is prepared to get a maximum amount of people here for the training because you want to fill the room up.
Okay.
We'll get as many people are certified to be able to do that because it has to be it's going to be like a half a day training.
Okay, thank you for that.
But we have the space at our temporary spot if we want to do it here or we want to do it off-site. So let us know.
Okay.
Is there like any initiative about drug needles?
So yes, so the community board has asked the Department of Health if they are willing to train. Do what's called hazard material training, which is the folks that usually who are trained to remove the hypothetical needles in specific locations, parks, schools, gutters, etc. The community board is working with the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to sponsor hazard material removal training. because no one should participate in trying to remove a hypothetical needle, especially a used one, if they have not received this specialized training. Because there's material you have to wear, including footwear. Some people use very thick body wear and gloves to ensure that, to hopefully ensure that they're not exposed to any pokes or injuries from removal of the needles. There is a pilot program that's the reason why that's happening too, because there is a pilot program where there's a monetary exchange for like the bottle caps, like the plastic bottle, empty bottle exchange. There's a pilot program that the department is going to be trying very soon, in exchange for safely discarded used hypodermic needles. So we decided that we want to provide that training to folks who may be interested in participating in that pilot program in our district. But especially, there's a training because the chair wanted to make sure before we do the Earth Day cleanup that folks understand how to identify and either, if they're not trained, move around from away from the needles or allow the professionals to have that training to remove them.
And is this happening anytime soon, or will be communicated?
The chair will be communicating on our social meetings and our board meetings. We'll probably have the date at the general board meeting at the end of this month.
Okay.
When that's happening.
Okay. So no business. Okay. No. Okay. So a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
No, you got a first motion.
Oh, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Who's
Second that motion.
John Sanchez second the motion. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Everybody say aye. Any discussion to the motion? No? Okay. Meeting over. Thank you. Now I can go home and eat.
I can't turn it off.